filmmaking has become increasingly expensive, with advancements in technology driving production costs higher. Where it was once rare for films to surpass the $100 million mark, now crossing $1 billion is the new goal. Movies that once had budgets around $3 million now often exceed $50 million. To turn a profit, a film typically needs to earn twice its production budget, factoring in distribution and marketing costs, as well as the theatre owner's share. While 2024 started slowly, it has seen major successes like Inside Out 2 and Deadpool and Wolverine, each earning over $1 billion. However, not all films have fared well, and several have turned into box office bombs, resulting in significant financial losses for studios and investors. So, the 10th biggest flop movie of 2024 on our list is The First Omen. The Omen franchise began in 1976 with The Omen and saw 3 sequels, concluding with Omen 4: The Awakening in 1991, followed by a remake in 2006. The latest installment, The First Omen, serves as a prequel that explores the origins of the satanic conspiracy and the birth of Damien, the Antichrist. Critics and fans praised it, giving it an 81% fresh rating on Rotten Tomatoes. However, audiences largely skipped theatres, likely due to the franchise's decline by 2024. As a result, The First Omen grossed only $53.8 million against a $30 million budget, falling short of profitability. Despite its box office failure, the film found success on streaming platforms, ranking among the top 10 titles upon release. And the 9th biggest flop movie of 2024 is The Watchers. The Watchers is Ashana Night Shyamalan's directorial debut, produced by her father, M. Night Shyamalan. The film stars Dakota Fanning and Georgia Campbell, telling the story of Mina, Fanning, who becomes stranded in a remote Irish forest. After finding shelter, she and other strangers are confined together as deadly creatures attack nightly. Unlike some box office failures that receive positive reviews, The Watchers struggled critically, earning only a 32% rotten rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Critics criticised its unengaging plot and excessive exposition, and some accused Ashana of benefiting from nepotism by comparing her style to her father's. With a $30 million budget, the movie grossed merely $32.9 million, achieving just 54.95% of its break-even point. And the 8th biggest flop movie of 2024 is Argylle. Argylle is a spy comedy starring Bryce Dallas Howard as Ellie Conway, a novelist who unwittingly falls into a real-life conspiracy that mirrors her fictional spy stories. Henry Cavill plays Aubrey Argylle, the super spy protagonist of Ellie's novels. With a strong cast, including Sam Rockwell and Samuel L. Jackson, Argylle had high expectations but cost a hefty $200 million to produce. However, it grossed only $96 million, reaching just 24.06% of its break-even mark. Critics weren't impressed, giving it a 33% Rotten Tomatoes score, though audiences rated it higher at 72%. Factors like a misleading marketing campaign, which overemphasized Cavill's role, and a chaotic third act contributed to the film's box office failure. And the 7th flop movie of 2024 is The Fall Guy. Ryan Gosling had a standout 2023 as Ken in Barbie, and his 2024 release, The Fall Guy, looked poised for similar success. In the film, Gosling plays Colt Seavers, a semi-retired stuntman pulled back to work on his ex-girlfriend, Jodie Moreno's, Emily Blunt, directorial debut. He soon finds himself entangled in a dangerous conspiracy, promising viewers action, romance, humor, and adventure. Critics were impressed, giving it an 82% fresh rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Yet, despite these strengths, The Fall Guy flopped financially. With a $140 million budget, it earned only $178 million, just 63.62% of what it needed to break even. The movie was adapted from a 1980s TV series, But with little lasting nostalgia for the show, it lacked a fan base to drive ticket sales, contributing to its box office failure. And the sixth biggest flop movie of 2024 on our list is Arthur the King. Arthur the King, featuring Mark Wahlberg and Simu Liu, is inspired by Mikael Lindnord's memoir, Arthur, the Dog Who Crossed the Jungle to Find a Home. The film follows adventure racer Michael Light, Wahlberg, as he undertakes a 435-mile journey with a stray dog named Arthur. While it received positive reviews, boasting a 70% fresh rating on Rotten Tomatoes for its engaging narrative and Wahlberg's performance, it struggled financially. With a production cost of around $19 million, it grossed between $32.2 million and $40.8 million. Even at the higher figure, it likely fell short of profitability due to distribution costs. Nonetheless, Arthur the King is a heartfelt watch, guaranteed to evoke some tears. And the fifth biggest flop movie of 2024 is Ordinary Angels. Inspired by true events from a cold wave in 1994, Ordinary Angels stars Hilary Swank as Sharon, a hairdresser who unites a community to help a widowed father, Alan Richson, save his daughter. The film resonated well with critics and audiences, earning an 84% fresh rating on Rotten Tomatoes and a remarkable 99% audience score. However, despite this acclaim, it struggled at the box office, costing $13 million to produce, but only grossing $20.5 million, reaching just 79.1% of its break-even point. Its marketing as a faith-based film likely contributed to its underperformance, as such movies often find it difficult to reach mainstream audiences, unlike hits like Sound of Freedom or The Passion of the Christ. And the fourth biggest flop movie of 2024 is Madame Web. Sony's live-action Spider-Man spin-offs have been hit or miss, with Morbius and Venom notably disappointing critics. Still, Sony released Madame Web in 2024, but it became the biggest flop in the franchise, underperforming even compared to Morbius. Starring Dakota Johnson as Cassandra Webb, Madame Web, alongside Sydney Sweeney, Celeste O'Connor, and Isabella Merced, the story follows Webb's new ability to foresee the future as she battles Ezekiel Sims, Tahar Rahim. Despite its star cast, the $80 million production only earned $100 million, hitting just 54.95% of its break-even target. Criticized for its weak script, flat performances, and lack of comic-accurate content, the film was also a critical failure, scoring a mere 11% on Rotten Tomatoes. And the third flop movie of 2024 on our list is Abigail. Vampire movies have existed almost as long as cinema itself, often lacking originality. But Abigail offers a fresh take on the genre. The film follows Abigail, Alicia Weir, a young girl who is a vampire, yet inexplicably has a pulse. When kidnappers take her hostage, they soon discover they've bitten off more than they can chew, as Abigail picks them off one by one in a playful yet deadly manner. Critics responded positively, giving it an 83% fresh rating on Rotten Tomatoes. However, at the box office, Abigail fell short, grossing $42.4 million against a $28 million production budget, reaching only 75.73% of its break-even point. Its underperformance may be attributed to poor marketing or general genre fatigue. And the second biggest flop movie of 2024 is Furiosa, a Mad Max saga. The Mad Max franchise saw new life with George Miller's 2015 Mad Max Fury Road, which, though not a major box office hit, earned critical acclaim and 6 Oscars, enough to secure 2024's prequel, Furiosa. This film, starring Anya Taylor-Joy as a young Furiosa, originally played by Charlize Theron, delivered the intense action and explosive sequences fans expect. However, with a hefty $168 million production budget, it had a high bar for profit, earning only $172.7 million, just 51.42% of its break-even goal. Furiosa was well reviewed, scoring a 90% fresh rating on Rotten Tomatoes, but it struggled financially. Factors like recasting the lead, prequel fatigue, and the long gap since Fury Road may have hurt its box office performance. Despite its quality, the high cost likely prevented it from being a success. And the last biggest flop movie of 2024 on our list is Lisa Frankenstein. Horror comedies often succeed on low budgets, but Lisa Frankenstein is a recent exception. The film stars Katherine Newton as Lisa, a teenager who resurrects her crush, a corpse, and embarks on a darkly comedic romance with him, marked by love and murder as they search for new body parts to replace his decaying ones. Though audiences enjoyed it, giving it an 81% score on Rotten Tomatoes, critics were less impressed, landing it a 52% rating. Despite its modest $13 million budget, Lisa Frankenstein struggled, grossing just under $10 million, or 38.18% of its break-even point. Poor marketing, a Super Bowl weekend release, and a short theatrical run likely contributed to its disappointing box office performance. So, do you like any of these 10 movies? Let us know in the comments section, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this.